We have self-driving cars and rocket ships, but what if I told you ancient people had their own insane technology? Before computers, people had the same huge questions we do. Will we have enough food? Are we safe? And the biggest question of all, what happens when we die? To get answers, they didn't use science. They used insane rituals. And these weren't just weird superstitions. This was crazy technology that built entire empires. These rituals were literally the operating system for whole civilizations, controlling everything from their laws to their daily lives. Today, we're going to Egypt, Greece, and Mesoamerica to uncover the most shocking and unbelievable rituals that shaped the world. What we found is going to blow your mind. First up, ancient Egypt, a civilization obsessed with gods, gold, and what happens after you die. The Egyptians believed the entire universe was perfectly balanced, a thing they called Maya. But this balance could break at any second, and they had to perform insane daily rituals just to keep it all from falling apart. At the center of everything were these temples, but you couldn't just walk in. These were literally the houses of the gods. Every single day, priests would wake up the god statue, wash it, put on insane jewelry, and feed it the best fruit and wine. They did this to give the gods enough power to make the sun rise. But it gets crazier. The Egyptians used something called Heka. It's basically magic. And this wasn't some hidden secret. It was a power that literally helped create the universe. And they didn't just ask the gods for things. Some of their spells literally threatened the gods to get what they wanted. Can you believe that? This magic was key to their entire lives, and especially to what happened when they died. And that brings us to the most famous and most misunderstood ritual of all, mummification. To us, it seems terrifying, but to them, it was the ultimate cheat code for eternal life. They believed your soul had different parts, and to make it to the afterlife, your body had to be perfectly preserved. But just preserving it wasn't enough. To truly live forever, you needed the final, most important step, the opening of the mouth. This ceremony was wild. Just before burial, a priest would perform this ritual on the mummy, using special tools like a serpent-headed blade and a forked knife. The priest would literally touch the mummy's mouth, eyes, and ears. The entire point was to magically turn on all the mummy's senses for the afterlife so it could speak, see, hear, and most importantly, eat and drink all the offerings it would get. This was the final switch that turned a dead body into an eternal spirit, ready to live forever. Next, we're going to ancient Greece. These are the people who gave us philosophy and democracy, but they were also obsessed with getting answers from the gods and securing a better afterlife. High on a mountain was the oracle at Delphi, literally the most influential place in the ancient world. Kings and farmers would travel for months just to ask this oracle one question. Getting an answer was a huge process. You had to wait, and you had to pay for expensive animal sacrifices. Then the oracle, a priestess called the Pythia, would go into a trance, supposedly by breathing in gas coming from the earth. She would say a bunch of crazy stuff, and then priests would turn it into a riddle. A king once asked if he should attack another empire, and the oracle said a great empire would be destroyed. So he attacked, and his own empire was destroyed. The oracle was never wrong. You just had to figure out the puzzle. She literally launched wars and built cities. But what if you wanted a better afterlife? For that, there was a super secret ritual called the Eleusinian Mysteries. The secret was so big, if you leaked it, you would be executed. Anyone could join, men, women, even slaves, as long as you had never murdered anyone and you swore to keep the secret. Initiates would march from Athens to a special hall where the final ceremony took place. We don't know exactly what happened inside, but we know they drank the special potion, and some people think it was a psychedelic that gave them crazy visions. People who did this lost all fear of death and believed they were guaranteed an amazing afterlife. Last stop, the jungles of Mesoamerica. For the Maya and the Aztecs, rituals weren't just about you, they were about keeping the entire universe from collapsing. One of the craziest examples was their ball game. This was way more than a sport. The court was a gateway to the underworld, and the game itself was a battle between life and death. Teams had to hit a super heavy rubber ball through a stone hoop using only their hips. And get this, the loser and sometimes the winner was sacrificed. Carvings literally show ball players being decapitated. Being chosen as the sacrifice was actually seen as a huge honor. But that's nothing compared to the Aztecs. This is where it gets absolutely insane. The Aztecs believed the world had already been destroyed 4 times. To stop their world, the 5th sun, from ending in a cataclysm, they had to pay a cosmic debt to the gods, and the payment was human blood. To them, this wasn't evil. It was the only thing keeping the world from ending. Their rituals were unbelievable. For the rain god, they sometimes sacrificed children because they believed their tears would bring rain. For the god of farming, a priest would kill a victim and then wear the person's skin for 20 days, symbolizing new life emerging. I'm not even kidding. The biggest sacrifices happened at the top of their giant pyramids. They would take prisoners of war, stretch them over a stone, and cut out their hearts while they were still beating and offer them to the gods. Then they just roll the bodies down the pyramid steps. Archaeologists have found racks with thousands of skulls. It's one of the most extreme things in human history, all done to keep the sun rising every day. I can't believe these rituals actually happened. If you think this is as crazy as I do, subscribe right now so you don't miss the next video. And I want to know which one of these rituals shocked you the most. Tell me in the comments. Mummification, oracles, human sacrifice. It all sounds completely insane. But if you really think about it, these people were just like us. They wanted to control their world and know what happens next. They tried to guarantee a good harvest. We play the stock market. They asked oracles for answers. We ask supercomputers. They made offerings to have a good afterlife. We try to build lasting legacies. The technology is different, but the goal is exactly the same. The mystical rituals of the ancient world aren't just weird history. They show us that for thousands of years, humans have always looked to the sky and asked the biggest questions. Why are we here? And what comes next?